we are live from Dowling Catholic High School to give you another presentation of high school boys basketball. It's the regional final. The winner of this game punches their ticket to the state playoffs. I'm Braden Plort. Alongside me are my partners in crime, Tyler French and Dom D'Angelo. Now, Dom, you've got a big game between two teams that are hot the past couple games. This Norwalk team being led by Tillman Popson, who has been a star for this team this season.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. 21 points tonight. He had 40 in their most recent game just the other day. So if Norwalk's going to advance in this one, they're going to need a big game out of number 22.
Now, these teams did face in the regular season where the Warriors did fall by 13, Tyler. They weren't able to come up with a victory in that game. What has to change in order for them to walk away victorious?
I think the big thing is you've got to get off to a better start. Norwalk actually outscored Dowling in the last three quarters in that contest, but there was such a deficit in that first quarter that it ended up into a double-digit loss for them. And, you know, when you look at Norwalk's losses this year, every single loss came to a team that either is already in the state tournament or is playing for a chance for one today. I think that they got to use that experience. We saw how scrappy this team can be late in games against teams like Ames, the comeback buzzer beater win over DCG. You've got to find a way to contain that and bring it for an entire 32-minute contest to take down a team like Dowling that is such a balanced squad to take on.
Now, when you look at this Dowling team, I mean, the first thing that I think pops out is that every single player on this roster is above 6 feet, and they use that to their advantage this season. Only having 33 blocks on the year, which I find a little bit surprising compared to Norwalk's 88, but when you face a team that has this much size, I mean, you've got Charlie Crane, 6'10", you've got a guy that's 6'8", 6'7". What are the things that you have to do as an undersized squad to find a way to win through that?
You have to be really disciplined, especially if you're going to attack the paint. You need to be solid with the basketball and settle for a lot of jump stops and shot fakes. Be really fundamentally sound, especially attacking the basket. And on the perimeter, strong two-hand chest passes. It sounds extremely fundamental, but it's true. You cannot give this Dowling team easy runouts in transition.
Now, looking at this game, what would you guys say are some keys to the game for either team to come out and punch their ticket to state?
I really think it's got to be the three-point shooting for Norwalk. This is a team that, when Abbott's in the game, can go 5 out, can pull some of those big guys out to the perimeter, and with the shooting in the second half of the year from guys like Jamison Demaray and Audric Pelzer, to say the very least, guys that have seen that percentage climb over 37% for both of them, that makes a very lethal backcourt. And when you've got a guy like Tillman Papson who's going to drive, be able to shoot himself, and when he kicks that ball out, when those double teams are coming, you've got to be able to knock down those shots, not just to be a threat to these big guys, but just to put some points on the board.
Wholeheartedly agree. The other big stat I'm going to be looking at is the free throw line. Coming into tonight, Norwalk has shot over 100 more free throws than Dowling has. And if they're going to be attacking the perimeter, or attacking from the perimeter and going into the lane, they're going to have to be willing to absorb some of that contact, try to finish through it. So the Warriors have been good from the free throw line this year. To Tyler's point, struggled a bit from the outside. We're going to have to see which one's going to come to form first.
In their last matchup, the Warriors only attempted and made one free throw that entire game, while Dowling Catholic went 16 of 17, proved to be a big factor in their last matchup.
And we saw how big, especially come playoffs, what free throw shooting can do for your team. We saw it in the girls' game earlier today at State. They came away with a double-digit victory after Central DeWitt went 11 of 22 from the free throw line. Norwalk 16 of 17, and that was a huge disparity that allowed them to pick up point after point late in the contest to really widen that margin.
Now, another player I'm looking for in this contest is going to be the secondary man on this Warrior squad, Audric Pelzer. We've seen he has big play potential, really finding his three-point shot later in this season. Scored 32 in a big win against DCG. I think it's going to be important that he replicates some of that magic here tonight and push this Warrior squad to state.
And looking at the starting five for this squad, you mentioned that Charlie Crane in the middle at 6'10". You've got Alfred Coley at 6'8", Norwalk countering. They've got 6'7" and 6'5". And if Henry Smith can make most of his minutes. Obviously, a lot of those minutes in the center spot go to Andrew Abbott. I think Henry Smith, he's the do-it-all type player for you. He's got to be huge tonight in the minutes that he gets. He cannot give up offensive rebounds. He's got to hit the glass, take care of the ball in what could be limited minutes, but with this center rotation, if anyone gets in foul trouble, he's going to be seeing the floor a lot.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. And they're going to have to make a conscious effort to not get into foul trouble, because with the lack of size that this Warriors team has on the interior, it's going to be really important for those guards to be staying as close to their man on the perimeter as they possibly can, and not having to have the defenders on the interior rotate over and force them into some tough situations.
We now turn our attention for the national anthem. Looking at tonight's starting lineup, starting on the home side for the Dowling Catholic Maroons. Number 0, Alfred Coley, the 6'8 forward. Nathan Jenkins, Charlie Crane, the 6'10 center. Noah Martins and Maddox Coppola. On the Warriors side, you have senior Jamison Demaray, Audric Pelzer, Tillman Popson, James Hatlovig, and sophomore Andrew Abbott. Moments away from tip-off in the deciding game of who will be at the Casey Center. Dowling Catholic wins the tip-off. Martins will bring up the ball. Jenkins from the wing. Jenkins guarded by Demaray. Crane from the top of the arc. Off the screen. Jenkins driving inside, kicks it out to Coppola. Coppola pump fakes. Step back jumper, no. Crane from deep. Off back rim.
Some good defense from the Warriors there, initially cutting off that initial drive from Jenkins there and forcing up the three-pointer there from Crane.
Pelzer brings up the rock for this Warrior squad. Pelzer driving baseline, floater. Can't get that to go. Abbott tips it out to Demaray. Demaray resetting the offense. Pops in off the screen, feeds it down to Abbott. Abbott can't get that one to go. Ball is out of bounds. Foul called, and the Warriors will inbound.
I think something initially a good sign here for the Warriors. We talked about the size disparity in favor of Dowling. A couple offensive rebound chances, and early on, Andrew Abbott showing really good fight on the offensive boards.
Popson from the corner gets his ball swatted away by Jenkins.
Fantastic closeout from Jenkins. You got to stick like glue to Tillman Popson. An inch of space, he can get his shot off. They're doing a great job so far, not letting things being easy for Norwalk inside or from the perimeter.
Popson driving inside. Sweeps it out to Hatlovic, swings it back to Demaray. Demaray has his shot tipped. However, off of Coley's foot, and the Warriors will inbound once again. That's back-to-back swatted shots on this Warrior squad.
And you're seeing right away the length on the perimeter here. And they're not just tall, they're also very long, and so it's going to be really difficult to get up perimeter jump shots early on here for Norwalk. Got to continue to swing the ball around the perimeter to try to loosen up that defense.
And we were talking about the size differential. It's been the guards getting pieces on the perimeter using that length.
Popson has his pass swatted away. Coppola feeds Martins. Crane down in the post. Gets stuffed by Demaray. And the Maroons will inbound under their own basket.
Kind of impressed there wasn't a hook and hold there, as underneath they were tangling for it. But I like the physicality early here. The officials are letting them play underneath.
Jenkins guarded by Demaray. Coppola driving baseline. Spins around, backing down Popson. Jenkins resets the offense. Deep three. Off front rim, Pelzer the rebound. Pelzer dishes out to Demaray. Demaray thought about it, driving baseline, feeds Abbott inside. The floater gets it to go.
Like it. Like it. Talked about it in the open. Great jump stop there from Demaray, setting his feet, delivering a nice, easy bounce pass, and an easy 2 points there from Abbott.
Warriors strike first, up 2-0. From three. Can't get that to go. Martins gets his own rebound.
Great job by Martins off of the three, collapsing and hitting the offensive glass. With so much focus on these bigs, there's going to be opportunities on the offensive glass for some of these guards.
Back-to-back misses for the Catholic. Hatlovic gets the rebound. Coppola misses. Now the Warriors gaining a bit of momentum here. As this one swatted away, picked up by Abbott. Pelzer off the screen. Popson guarded closely by Jenkins.
Yeah, he's giving him no airspace.
Spin around down to Demaray for three. Off front rim. Martins in transition. Martins off the screen from Crane. Feeds it inside. Crane maneuvering through traffic. Gets his own rebound and a foul is called. He'll have two coming up.
Dowling cannot buy a basket inside. What was supposed to be a big bonus for them inside has been an early struggle, not able to get anything through that hoop. See if these free throws can kind of get them started.
The senior Crane shooting 48% from the line this season, sinks the first.
You know, for a guy who shoots under 50%, that's a pretty good looking stroke he's got from the charity stripe.
Crane knocks down both. And the Maroons balance this one out 2-2, 4:40 remaining in the first. Pelzer guarded by Martins. Pelzer driving, kicks it out to Demaray. Hatlovic from the corner, off the backboard. Can't get that one to go. And Jenkins will bring this one up.
Yeah, just didn't look comfortable with that catch there. Kind of a desperation type of look there.
Crane from the corner. Passes it out to Coppola. Coppola resetting. Getting a screen from Crane. Deep triple. Off the backboard. Back-to-back ugly shots for both teams. Demaray finds Abbott inside. Pump fake. Regains his dribble. Off backboard too strong. Coppola the rebound.
And that's where that 6'10" presence of Crane really comes into play. Abbott, a player that is very strong going to the rim, just was unable to get a look there.
Martins maneuvering around Pelzer. What a great play. The senior guard showing a little bit of shiftiness and creativity.
Yeah, we're seeing some really uptight on the ball defense from both sides to begin.
Pelzer steps on the line. That's a turnover. It will be Maroon ball. Lane Livingston checking into the game for Jamison Demaray.
Still feels like both teams are really tense. They haven't really found any sort of consistent rhythm and flow, and the ball's been really stagnant these last couple of possessions. I think both sides need to get back to swinging it around the perimeter.
Crane finds Coppola near the corner. Crane driving inside, kicks back out to Coppola, pump fake. Crane and Coppola feeding. Crane getting pushed down, airballs this one. Rebound goes to Jenkins. Jenkins looking for a man to pass to. Misses this one. Bodies flying, but the ball's being tipped everywhere. Martin's a deep three. Knocks this one through. Through all the chaos, Martin's shot is lucid clear. Puts the Maroons up 7-2, 2:36. And a foul is called on Martin's.
Martin's doing a great job of picking your spot. Was able to play off the tip, was wide open with everyone crashing the boards. Was talking about that was going to be opportunities in the offensive glass with some of these long rebounds, with everyone trying to focus on getting the ball away from the bigs inside.
And he's their leading three-point per shooter, at least attempts-wise, 117 coming into this game.
Couple of substitutions. Henry Smith in for Andrew Abbott on the Warrior side, and for the Catholics, Evan Mitchell in for Charlie Crane. Pelzer getting boxed in, triple teamed. Finds Livingston in the corner. Livingston sizing his man up, feeds it back to Smith. Hands it back to Livingston. Thought about a three. Livingston inside, lots of passing from this Warrior squad. Smith found wide open, reverse layup. What a play from the senior.
And that's the type of draw that you get with someone like Tillman Papson. Smith, a great roll off there and an even better finish on the reverse.
Yeah, Norwalk's got to look for that a lot more because there's a lot of help coming from that far side corner, so you're going to have a double team on the ball. Whoever's penetrating that defense, so the roll is going to be wide open as it was right there.
Smith has missed the last couple games with an ankle injury, and Noah Martins knocks down another triple from the wing.
Blistering start for Noah Martins, 8 of the 10 early on, and a couple of threes for a guy that shoots under 30%. That could be a big confidence booster as this game goes on.
Pelzer swishes his floater. Under 120 remaining in the first. The Maroons up 10-6. Coppola feeds. Martins knocks down another three-pointer.
I don't know how he got that lost in the defensive rotation there. I mean, he found himself with another clean look at the top of the key and is able to knock it down.
Pelzer, the ball handler. Off the screen from Smith, finds Livingston in the corner. Livingston answers with his own three.
Lane Livingston, another guy that can really come on in the second half of the season, shooting 38% from downtown. That percentage was under 25 at the midway point of the year. What a stretch for the freshman coming in to the playoffs.
Under 20 remaining in the first. Shot clock is turned off. Looks like Martins will hold for the final possession. Jenkins guarded closely by Livingston. Jenkins hands it off to Martins, off to a double screen, another triple, can he make it? Swishes this one in the final seconds of the first quarter. Pelzer, a heave is no good. Noah Martins have a day. 4 3-pointers in that first half, and the Maroons lead 16-9 heading into the second.
And maybe only one of them was open, or at least a shot from in close. Everything, a step or two back from three-point line or a hands in his face. What shooting from the senior guard trying to send his team to state.
We'll be back for the second quarter after this break. We head to the second, and the biggest story so far in this game is Noah Martins. The senior guard has been hot, scoring Dowling Catholic's first 12 of their 16 first quarter points.
Yeah, and if you're Norwalk defensively, you got to stop going underneath the screen there. You're leaving him wide open after he's made a couple in a row. You cannot continue to let him get open looks.
Popson guarded by Jenkins, right near half court. Looking for a screen from Abbott. Passes it off. Abbott
Good.
gets the feed. Rejected by Noah Martins with a full head of steam. Finds Jenkins in the corner. Feeds back out. It's number 21, Gio Keels, getting the layup to go.
That's a tough shot there. It went right into the waiting defense of Andrew Abbott, able to get it around him and spins it home.
Keelis able to fight through some defenders for the layup. Pelzer getting guarded by Keelis. Near the corner, Abbott posting up Crane. Off the screen to Pelzer. Pelzer a deep three. Knocks in this triple.
Big miscommunication there defensively. Both players went with the roller, leaving the shooter wide open. And if the Warriors are going to get into a three-point battle, I love their opportunities with a squad that shoots the way they do.
Crane looking for a feed, finds Keelis. Keelis getting a screen from Coley. Back out to Jenkins in the corner. Martins resets the offense, asking for a screen. Gets from Coley. Jenkins, Keelis from the corner. In and out, pops in the rebound.
Really strong communication from the Warriors, rotating everywhere, and these two teams could not be more different in their defensive parameters. At home, consistent defense from Norwalk. Meanwhile, aggressive extended defense with that length from the Maroons.
Pelzer misses his layup. Martin's off the double screen, cutting inside. Popson deflects this one out of bounds.
And right on cue, Tyler, you talked about it. That was the first time that Norwalk's really come up when they're in the help position there. Nice job by Papsu knocking that one out of play.
Jenkins will inbound on the side. Feeds it to Keelis in the corner. Martin's thinking about another three from the wing. Driving inside, a screen from Coley. Back out to Jenkins. Crane gets his and one to go. Charlie Crane gets the and one from the block, and he'll head to the charity stripe. Coppola into the game for Jenkins.
Yeah, just bigger than everybody in that spot there. Charlie Crane, the 6'10 senior, able to out-muscle everybody and get that one to drop.
Crane gets back iron on his attempt, bobbled around, ultimately picked up by Popson. Popson driving inside, guarded by Coppola.
This is where you got to get back to that high pick and roll. They had some success with it in the first quarter. Would like to see them return to it here.
Demaray off the pick and roll from Hadlovig. Feeds it back out to Popson, thinks about a contested three. Around and out. Coley the rebound.
You can see Popson just kind of struggling to get a feel for this game. I know you talked in pregame that had his struggles in this game in the regular season as well. This is a type of team that has the length to bother him at all levels.
Martin's off the pick and roll once again, driving inside. Circus layup way off the mark. Popson picks it up in transition.
They got numbers if they're here. They got to look to go.
Popson pump fake, step back three. Around and out, Coley the tough rebound.
That's the look that you want, though. Popson an open look for three. That's what Norwalk has to continue to try to find here in the second quarter.
Crane inside, fights through the trap and gets the layup.
Crane's second time through that he's gotten that double team coming over, able to absorb the contact, and a nice finishing move to get through that extra defender.
Norwalk calls a timeout as they face a 10-point deficit, 22-12, 4:37 left in the second. We'll be back after this break. back from the break. Dowling leads by 10. Charlie Crane looking to catch a little bit momentum recently.
Yeah, a couple of times that they've gone to him down in the post there, and just being bigger and taller than everybody, it's a lot easier for him to absorb some of those double teams that the Warriors have thrown at him, and he's really caused some problems for them on the defensive end. I think down here Norwalk's got to get back to that high pick and roll, like I said, and they just have to read the help defender because the corner threes are being left alone here from Dowling. Nice roll.
Abbott off the pick and roll, pump fake, gets the scoop to go.
One thing I think we've seen from Dowling so far is it's kind of been player by committee. You see that with running backs in the NFL, and that's kind of been this role all season. 3 guys averaging double figures, your turn, my turn, but not an isolation type scenario.
Crane looking for a feed, finds Keyless off the bend, back out to Crane, spin floater, gets that one to go.
There's nothing you can do about that. If you're Abbott, played him just about as well as you could, even made him take a fadeaway type floater, they're still got it to drop.
I think what we're seeing so far as well is Crane, not just a big body, a very skilled player as well.
Tillman gets the ball ripped away from him. Keyless in the corner. Looking to reset the offense, feeds it out to Martins. Martins off the double. Coley looking for a man, finds Capola in the opposite wing, feeds it to Keyless in the opposite corner. Can't get his triple to go. Halevig with a strong box out, and Demaray the rebound. Pelzer in transition, driving inside, step back mid-range, gets that one to go. Pelzer really keeping the Warriors in this matchup.
Yeah, seen that a couple times from him here in this first half, just getting to his spot, under control, feels comfortable, and it's got a nice touch from that 15-foot area.
Warriors down 8. 2:45 remaining in this half. Crane feeds it back out to Capola. Capola can't get his three-pointer to land.
I will say one thing on the Norwalk side that's been a real positive. There have been very few offensive rebound chances here for Dowling in this first half, so really good job by the Warriors committing to crashing the boards.
Abbott sinks his floater off the pick and roll. And Dowling calls a timeout. The Warriors finding some momentum.
This floater game has been extremely strong. It's one of the most underutilized weapons, but when you're going against a team with the length and size that this team on Dowling's side possesses, it is a very useful tool inside, as we've seen that from Abbott and Pelzer last couple possessions.
2-possession game, 2:22 left in the second. We'll be back after this. Warriors picking up some steam, cutting the deficit down to 6. Dom, what are you seeing from this squad?
I think just offensively they're getting into a little bit better of a rhythm. I talked about getting into that high pick and roll movement and figuring out where the help defender is coming from. The last couple times they've stayed home on the corner threes, and that's what allowed the floater again to open up.
Martins finds Jenkins in the corner, can't get that to go. Crane the wild attempt, and a foul is called.
Crane just using his size to get in for that rebound. And, you know, if you're going to foul him, send him to the free throw line. There are definitely worse players that you could send to the free throw line.
Crane misses the first, leads the team in free throws attempted this season.
One thing I did love on that defensive possession, we saw Henry Smith switch off, coming off that double screen, great communication, getting back in, though he did give up the offensive rebound, put himself in a position to try and get that stop defensively.
Misses the pair. Pelzer gets the rebound. Looking for a screen from Smith. Guarded by Capola. Smith gives Pelzer. Pelzer finds Smith inside, nearly loses it, kicks it out to Halevig from the wing. Deep three off the front rim. Rebound goes to Crane, and Jenkins will bring the rock up for Dowling.
I know he's capable of making that shot there. I would like to see that ball continue to pop around the perimeter there. It just felt a little bit out of sorts.
Martins can't get his three to go. Smith a strong rebound. Popson looking for a screen from Smith. Finds Smith at the top of the arc. Feeds Smith inside once again off the pump fake, looking for another man. Finds Halavik, back to Livingston in the corner. Knocks in this triple.
What a shot from a freshman. Thought he short-armed it for a second, but a huge three to make this a one-possession game with a minute left.
That was the best offensive possession they had all game. Every single player on the floor touched the ball that possession there. It was swinging around the perimeter. They located where the help defender was and found the open man.
This Warrior crowd is feeling the momentum change. 3-point game, 40 seconds remaining. Crane responds with an oop.
What
a stocking stuffer from Charlie Crane.
What a way to steal that momentum right back and silence the crowd. There's not many players that can do that in any given moment like that play right there from Charlie Crane.
Abbott subs in for Henry Smith. 37.5 remaining in the second. 2.5 seconds between shot and game clock. Pelzer guarded by Coppola. Looks to slow things down. Under 25 remaining.
And if I'm Pelzer, I'm not getting into my motion until probably 12 seconds on the timer.
Pelzer looking to his father, Coach Pelzer, for the play. 10 seconds remaining, no move yet. Pelzer driving near side, gets this one poked from behind, and Coppola is called for the foul.
Talk about a clean of a game it has been, though. Just 2 fouls on Norwalk in this quarter. That is the first against the Maroons on the other side.
7.3 remaining. Pelzer will inbound right in front of the Dowling Catholic bench. Finds Halavik. This one's poked away by Coley. This time Popson will inbound this one. 6.9 remaining. Official stoppage. Demaray, a late substitution in for Halavik. Pops in the inbound. Finds Livingston near the wing. Step back three. Around and out. 2 seconds remaining. Coppola from half court. Off the backboard. And we will head into the half. The Dowling Catholic Maroons, a 5-point win over the Warriors. But this Norwalk team is finding some momentum late as they look to carry that into the second half. The Maroons up 5 as we near the start of the third period. Now we saw, Dom, in that first quarter, Noah Martin's really hot, extremely good start from 3, making 4 in the 3. Has really fizzled out lately. What do you want to see from him in the second half?
I think the biggest difference has been that Norwalk switched up their ball screen coverage. They've started playing up tighter on him, coming off some of those pin downs a lot more. So some of those open looks that he was getting in that first quarter, no longer there. I think if you're him, you just got to continue to keep moving without the ball. That's how all great shooters are going to find some rhythm. If you have enough stamina to get around all those ball screens, there's going to be multiple defenders chasing him around the perimeter. There's no question, especially with the start that he got off to. I don't really think that he should change up too much. Maybe look to go inside a couple of times, but with the way that Norwalk played him in that second quarter, I think he's going to have to settle for some mid-range jump shots if he wants to make a contribution in the second half.
Now we saw Charlie Crane start to light things up a little bit later in that second quarter. How do you want the Warriors to try and stop and game plan against him for the second half?
Well, he's tough to do so against. Isn't he standing at 6'10"? I mean, they're double teaming him every time he gets in the post. He's gotten the best of them a couple times and some offensive rebound chances. I'm not sure there's a whole lot different that you can do if you're Norwalk defensively, unless you want to maybe send a third body at him. I would caution against that. But I think the biggest thing with him, you just got to be as physical as you can without fouling and try to push him as far away from the basket as possible. And I think in that first quarter, that's really what their game plan was surrounded by, right? They were trying to keep him away from the basket at all costs, which is, I think, what allowed, in certain aspects, Noah Martins to get some of those open looks for 3. That second quarter, they really dialed in on Martins, didn't let him get any three-point looks. That's what kind of allowed, you saw Noah Crane to get percolating a little bit toward the end of that first half.
Now on the Norwalk side, the leading scorer, Tillman Popson, didn't record a single point in that first half. What do you want to see from the offense to try and free things for him?
Well, I think if you're Tillman, you just need to continue to be aggressive and look for your shot. I think what Norwalk is doing, especially a better job of in that second quarter, is making the right basketball play. I've been calling for it all first half. Continue to run that high pick and roll. Wait for that help defender to make a decision. Either come down and help on the roller so you have an open corner 3, or just we saw a lot of floaters in particular from Aldrich Pelzer and some of the bigs inside. So I think you need to continue to look for those looks if you're Norwalk. And if you're Tillman, just continue to be in the flow of the game, be in the flow of the offense, be extremely engaged defensively. Would not be shocked if they switch him on to Martins here in this third quarter.
Yeah, I can't agree any further with that. This has been about as tough a start for him as we've seen all season. But if you're Norwalk, you got to be ecstatic. You're down 5 without your number 1 player with a single point at halftime. You were able to withstand a 14-point onslaught in the first quarter from Martins. You got to just keep rolling with the punches. The way this team has been able to adapt in between quarters, in between halves, and make adjustments on the fly has been absolutely insane this season. I was talking about it in pregame. We saw it when Dom and I did the DCG game, that they came storming back, the buzzer beater by Tillman Popson to win that game. But you go back to the Ames game, you take some of these big performances to open up the year. Their first game of the year was against the state tournament-bound Ballard Bombers. They kept that one close down the stretch, and outside a couple plays go a different way, and they may have come away with that early season win. This team is battle-tested and been bruised but not beat this year through some of these games.
Warriors look to get over the hump. A 13-point loss at Dowling during the regular season, like you mentioned, Tyler. Lots of close games, but the Warriors have not been able to feel the quench of victory. They look to do that and feel the victory as they head towards state. Down 5, 20 seconds remain before the start of the second half. Dowling will keep the same 5 starters they started the game out with Coley, Jenkins, Crane, Martins, and Coppola. The Warriors do the same, keep their starters from the first half: Pelzer, Hatlovic, Demaray, Popson, and Abbott.
I think a big thing, too, is obviously Tillman Popson, got to find a way to get him going. But eventually these threes from guys like Demaray and Hatlovic, they've been hitting all season. Even if it's just 1 or 2 from them here in this half, that could be enough to help push them over that hump.
Crane from the elbow, guarded by Abbott, looking for a man. Finds Jenkins off the pick and roll. Jenkins fires it out to Coppola in the corner. Coppola pump fakes. Back out to Jenkins inside. Crane driving against Abbott, gets that one to go, showing the physicality.
Yeah, just using his size there. That's one of the few times we've really seen him use his strength going at the defender tonight. Really good looking shot there from Charlie Crane.
Pelzer finds Abbott near the top, hands it back out to Pelzer. Pelzer wide open from three, knocks this one in.
Second time that they've been so worried about the roller. That's where that early success with that pick and roll going to the hoop has changed the impact. Pelzer has had 2 threes now off similar plays like that.
I don't know if we're giving him enough credit for the game that he's having. I mean, he's up to 12 points, and he's been orchestrating this offense beautifully tonight, reading the defender every single time, making the right play.
Martins from the baseline swings it out to Jenkins. Jenkins finds Crane posted up against Abbott. Once again, bullying the young sophomore.
So now they went to an adjustment. They have Abbott guarding him one-on-one. They got to bring 2 help defenders there because he's just so much taller than Abbott trying to defend him one-on-one in the post.
Abbott looking for a man to pass to, guarded by Crane, finds Pelzer. Pelzer driving inside, swings it out, a Hatlovig from the corner. Can't get that one to fall. Coppola the rebound, and Martins will bring the rock.
I think one thing we've seen from a couple of these threes from Hatlovig, he's not set before that rock gets swung over to him, and his three-point percentage is a lot higher when he's ready to shoot when that ball gets to him.
Martins can't get the tough layup, but Jenkins finishes off the offensive board. Maroons up 8, under 6 remaining, 32-24.
That was the first points of the game for Nathan Jenkins.
Pelzer pump fakes, finds Hatlovig in the corner. Hatlovig not able to find his three-point shot this game.
That's the look that you want, though. I mean, that's another great dish from Pelzer, driving into the interior, 2-foot jump stop, and just Hatlovig's got to be able to knock down those shots if the Warriors want to get back into this one.
Popson guarding Coppola off the screen, finds Jenkins. Back out to Coppola from the top of the key. Can't get that one to go, tipped around. It will be for the Warriors.
One thing I think Norwalk has done a great job, obviously Charlie Crane going to work in the post, but they've been able to isolate Alfred Coley, not letting him do a lot on either the glass or in the paint so far. A guy that averages a near double-double this year. They've done a great job keeping him on the offensive glass away from the ball.
Pelzer finds Popson off the bend. Foul is called on the floor against Popson. That'll be Coppola's first of this half. Pelzer inbounds underneath the Norwalk hoop. Finds Abbott at the top of the arc. Popson hands it off to Pelzer, driving. Demaray looking for a screen. Gets one from Abbott, loses his dribble. Popson cutting inside, and a travel is called on Demaray.
What stings about that is Papson was going to be wide open for an easy 2 on a great back cut there. Just shuffled the feet a little too quickly there. We haven't really heard from Demaray much in this game. Still scoreless, and he's really touched the ball for a guy who shot over 40% from 3 this year.
Martins off the pick and roll, finds Coppola in the corner. Coppola getting a screen from Coley. Coley finds Jenkins in the corner wide open. Knocks in that triple. Extends the lead to 11, 4:20 remaining. Demaray from the corner now. Off the back rim, rebound goes to Jenkins. Martins gets a screen from Coley, guarded by Hatlovig now. Martins feeds it out. Coppola now in the corner. Coppola coming back up, guarded by Popson. Coppola driving right near the elbow. Crane posting up, doubled, spin around floater, misses everything. Hatlovig the rebound.
Excellent defense from Abbott. They're stuck with him the entire way, did not fall for that spin move.
Popson gets trapped near the corner. Foul is called on the handoff. That'll be on Jenkins.
I want to go back to that last possession. One thing that I think really helped out as well, you were talking, Dom, that they needed to start bringing that help defender again. We saw Demaray take away that baseline, forced him back to the opposite hand. You know, a right-handed player, he's not as comfortable with his left, leads to an air ball. Now Norwalk needs to start converting on the other side as well.
And I think every time that he catches it in the post, you should come with that baseline help defender, because he hasn't really looked to pass it out of those situations, so it can maybe force him into some untimely shots.
Keyless and Livingston both into the games for the squads. Pelzer from the wing. Can't knock in that three-pointer.
And you can feel Norwalk starting to get that pressure on him a little bit, starting to force things a little bit. Haven't really been able to get into the groove of the offense that we saw in those first couple of minutes out of the halftime break.
Yeah, only 3 points so far in this third quarter.
Jenkins in the corner, guarded by Livingston. Now up to the wing, finds Keyless wide open for a three. Off back rim, Hatlovic going for the rebound, over the back called on Coley.
I think one thing that's been really, I talked that they've done a great job taking Coley out of the game. I think that is almost exclusively because of James Hatlovic today. While his stats aren't much so far, just a couple of rebounds, no points, he has done amazing on the defensive side, boxing out, keeping one of the best offensive rebounders in the state from picking up easy rebounds.
Pelzer driving inside, slowing layup, gets that off the backboard.
Said it throughout the course of the game, Tyler, just under control the entire time. He has rarely gotten sped up throughout the course of this game, and he's made excellent decisions. Another good floater there.
Warriors down 9, 35-26, 2:30 remaining in the third. Jenkins finds Keyless wide open in the wing, knocks in that triple.
And that was set up almost exclusively because of Coley and Crane. With all the defensive attention that goes to these big men, it came from a late closeout on the wing and a wide open three for Keyless.
Livingston spin around on Keyless, looking for a man, poked away. Timeout is called on the floor. We'll be back with more action after this. Coming out the break, the Warriors down 12, 2:06 remaining in the third. Pelzer will inbound beneath his own hoop. Finds Abbott beyond the three-point. Popson driving inside, wide open layup. Can't get that one to go, off back iron.
I think Tillman saw Coley coming over from the side and kind of rushed getting that shot off. Really needed to go to the backboard on that one.
Now Coley limping off to the sideline.
Yeah, he hit the deck as he grabbed that last rebound there, and he's got a noticeable gimp. He's going straight back to the locker room. Hopefully he's okay.
Sophomore Evan Mitchell checks into the game for him. Keyless feeds Martins back at the top off the screen from Mitchell. Finds Jenkins in the corner, back out to the wing for Martins. Martins, Keyless from the wing. Knocks in another three.
He's a pretty good shooter, 37% coming into the game tonight. And you know, he's one of those guys that once he sees one go down, look out. The rim looks huge.
Pelzer looking for Hatlovic. Hatlovic from the wing, back out to Popson. Gets a screen from him and Smith. Feeds Smith. Smith tries to go out to Helzer in the corner, gets that to go. Hatlovic open from the wing. Finally, Hatlovic gets one to go from three-point land.
See if that can kind of right the ship here a little bit. A disastrous third quarter for Norwalk.
Martins nearly had that one poked away. Deep three, Popson gets the rebound. 9-second difference between shot and game clock. Pelzer guarded by Martins. Gets a screen from Smith. Popson a deep three, gets this one rejected by Crane. Crane feeds Jenkins inside. Jenkins gets the and one.
Charlie Crane, a man among boys here in the second and third quarter, has been dominating on both sides of the ball. Popson wanted the ball, was calling for it, wanted that matchup, and it just did not go how he had envisioned with that long three.
Ralston and Coppola into the game for the Maroons. Keelis and Martins take a seat. Jenkins at the line, misses this one, but a foul is called. Mitchell gets the rebound, but a foul is called on him.
Wow.
Man, that's a really tough call to go Mitchell's way, as there was a clean box out, but that was definitely underneath the basket. He looked like he was just in the best spot.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I would have let that one go personally, but you know, that's why we're sitting up here commentating and not the ones down there making the call.
Pelzer guarded closely by Ralston. Demaray from the wing, driving inside, guarded by Mitchell. Feeds it out to Livingston, 4-3. Can't get that one to go. Smith the rebound. And the clock runs out in the third quarter. 1 quarter to go for State. The Maroons up 43-29 as we head to the fourth. The Maroons slowly pulling away from the Warriors. 8 minutes left in this regional final. Dom, what are you seeing from this Maroon squad that's getting this lead and advantage over the Warriors?
Talked about it with Norwalk in the first half. They're switching their ball screen coverage. They're now blitzing the ball handler, and what we saw Norwalk have a lot of success doing in that first half, running those high pick and rolls, letting mainly Aldrich Pelzer run the point and make decisions. They're not giving him that opportunity here in the second half.
Pelzer looking for a man in the corner. Popson from the wing, driving inside, trying to pivot out, finds Demaray from the other wing. Abbott going to work against Crane. Pump fake, follow through, bounce, does not get the roll to go. Crane the rebound.
I don't like their chances if Andrew Abbott's going one-on-one against a 6'10 senior. Just too experienced and too much length on the interior.
Coppola guarded by Popson. Martins from the top of the arc. Steps into it off the back rim. Pelzer gets the rebound. Feeds it off to Popson, thought about a three, driving baseline, spins around, finds Pelzer in the corner. Pelzer tiptoeing along the baseline, gets that layup to go.
And I think one thing that we've seen from Popson is that while he hasn't been able to get himself going today, still scoreless at this point in the contest, he's done so well of making sure that he's not forcing anything. He's doing everything he can to keep that ball moving and put himself as a decoy in certain spots.
Martins off the pick and roll, guarded by Pelzer. Coppola feeds it to Jenkins in the corner. Crane looking for a post-up. Jenkins guarded. Jenkins fade around jumper. Can't get that one to go. Hatlevic the rebound. Pelzer moving quickly in transition.
See, this is what I'm talking about here. They're blitzing Pelzer here, and he nearly lost it, able to retain possession.
Pelzer driving inside, a little too high, gets rejected by Coley.
Got one defender in the air with the first pump fake, but Coley was just too high in the air. It did not matter. Swallowed that one.
And that's something that's going to come with time, too. Abbott, only a sophomore here. He's going to learn how to ignite that contact and initiate the defender, forcing the issue there. Just good defense there from Coley on the interior. Once again, blitzing the ball pressure.
Papson getting swarmed by Maroons. It's a sea of red. Abbott comes away with this one.
Watch the timer here, 5 on the shot clock.
Papson loses this one. Capola in transition, feeds it to Jenkins. Jenkins gets another and one.
What were we talking about in the second quarter is it feels like every single quarter it's your turn, my turn. In the first quarter, it was Noah Martin. Second quarter, Charlie Crane. Third quarter, Gio Quiles, and now Nathan Jenkins starting to take over. A 3 and a couple of and ones here in this quarter. What a performance and balanced scoring every quarter from this team.
Jenkins sinks his shot from the line. That's going to be Popson's third. Pelzer a deep 3. Back iron, Coley the rebound.
I think you're starting to feel it a little bit from those 5 Warriors on the floor. As we approach 5.5 minutes to go, down by 15. Time is becoming of the essence here for Norwalk.
Crane from the top of the key. Jenkins found in the wing, guarded closely by Demaray. Pelzer steals this one away. Wide open layup. Great defensive play from the junior. And a timeout called on the floor. The Warriors down 13, 5:22 remaining in the fourth.
And what a stretch from this entire game, as Audric Pelzer is reminding everyone that Tillman Papson's had an amazing year, but I'm still here as well. And it really is exciting. If this is the last game for Norwalk this season, they've got to be so excited about the group they've got coming back. They'll return their top 2 scorers, losing the shooting of guys like Demaray and Hatlovic, plus just the steady presence of Henry Smith as well, is going to be so tough. But Andrew Abbott, with the growth he's had in the second half of the year, and just the confidence boost and breakout seasons for Papson and Pelzer, plus even just Lane Livingston will probably be in that starting lineup next year. He's had 6 points, played some great defense tonight. This is a guy that could be a big weapon for this team next year.
Yeah, where were they projected to finish in the Little Hawkeye Conference? You know off the top of your head?
Bad.
So you look at what they were able to accomplish just this year, finishing 15-7 and coming into tonight. And to your point, this is a building block. We talked about this throughout the course of the year, just a stepping stone for this group if this is the last game. But still 5.5 minutes to go and only 13 points. It's not insurmountable.
Plenty of ball game left coming out of the break. The Warriors down 13, 46-33. Martins off the double screen, guarded by Pelzer. Quintus thinks about it, feeds it to Crane inside. Crane's finger roll gets the air ball, but Coley finishes.
So tough. You've got a 6'10 senior that you have to defend, and then when he misses, a 6'8 junior comes flying in for an offensive rebound.
Pelzer getting swarmed here. Finds Halovig in the corner, pump fake, driving inside. Demaray thought about a 3, driving inside,
nice
spin
move.
around left. Can't get the roll to go. Bodies flying everywhere. A foul is called on the floor. It will be Dowling ball.
So one thing I was talking about earlier today is that every team that Norwalk lost to this year either is already in the state tournament with Pella, ADM, and Ballard already making it the 3A level. If Dowling holds on, they were one of Norwalk's losses and would be a second time. And last, just looking at some of the updates, Johnston currently up 36-32 over Roosevelt at the end of 3, and I'll try to find some other ones from some of the other Substate final games.
Referee cleaning out a wet spot on the floor on the Norwalk side of the hoop. We will resume play with the Maroons. Taking this one up with a 15-point lead, 4:40 remaining in the fourth. Coley finds Keyless, guarded by Popson. Keyless off the screen. Driving inside, kicks it out to Jenkins. Feeds it to Martins, who resets the offense. 10 remaining on the shot clock. Martins guarded by Pelzer. Driving inside, bobbles it over to Jenkins from the corner. That will be a shot clock violation. And the Maroons will turn it over. Livingston checks in for Desmarais.
Now this is something that Dowling cannot do here. They can't get content with where they are. That's back-to-back possessions where the shot clock has dwindled in under 5 seconds. One time they got the violation. The other time it was a nice pickup for Coley under the basket. So still got to play basketball here. Still 4 minutes to reign.
Pelzer hands it off to Livingston. Back to Popson. Pelzer now in the wing. Gets a screen from Abbott. Tries to feed it, and Martins pokes this one away. Martins gives it to Jenkins. Jenkins another transition layup. Pelzer driving inside. The floater bobbles that one in. It's a 15-point lead for the Maroons, 3:30 remaining in the fourth.
I think if you're Pelzer, you got to be applying a little bit more hectic ball pressure. I know he's played the entire game, but 3 minutes and your season's on the line here. You got to go all out, especially with no fouls to this point.
Martins letting this shot clock dwindle down, under 7 remaining. Jenkins, guarded by Livingston, finds Coppola off the screen in the corner. Off the front rim, Pelzer gets the rebound. Pelzer crossover, driving inside. Left-handed layup and gets fouled. That'll be Martin's second.
Yeah, I think that's the right call there. The shot was already launched, but you could see definitely Martin applying some heavy pressure from the backside of Pelzer. And these are big points here, big chances here for the junior to get some points while the clock is stopped.
Pelzer misses the first. Keyless into the game for Coppola. Pelzer misses a pair. Jenkins gets the bobbled rebound.
And you know what that tells me? It tells me he's fatigued. A guy who shoots 81% from the line this year leaves too short. That just means that he's running out of gas.
Trying to box Martins in. This pass gets deflected. Popson comes up with it. And a foul is called on Keyless in transition.
Kind of impressed they let that go for as long as they did there, as Popson was taking a couple swipes from a few defenders in the backcourt there, and then as soon as he burst out in transition, that's when they decide to blow the whistle.
Keyless back to the bench, and Coppola checks back in. Popson guarded by Jenkins from the top, right near half court. Finds Livingston in the wing. Pelzer off the bend. Pelzer now in the corner, finds Abbott inside, gets a pass from him. Abbott off the pick and roll, gets it to go. The timeout called by the Warriors. A 13-point deficit for the Warriors, 2:06 remaining in the fourth. We'll be back with more action after this. Coming out of the break, 2:06 remaining. Seems like the Maroons are kind of coasting, just trying to chip away at this clock.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head there. These are some really long possessions on the offensive end, just trying to get this clock to hit 0 as quick as they can without having a real sense of urgency here, which has allowed Norwalk to get a couple buckets these last few minutes and get the deficit down to 13.
Warriors coming out with a press, force Martins to call a timeout. Burns 3 seconds off the clock.
Looking around the rest of Class 4A, 3A already decided, and there are definitely some close games going on around the state right now. Last update, Dubuque Senior against Muscatine, a 45-44 lead there at the end of the third for Senior. Waukee Northwest up by 13 over Ankeny. Johnson and Roosevelt, they've been going back and forth. Johnson at one point led by 4. It's down to a 1-point lead with 6 minutes left. Waukee and Council Bluffs Lincoln, 29-25 in favor of the Warriors. And then the other one, Cedar Falls, really taking it to Linn-Mar, 47-33. And Ames over Urbandale, last I saw, they were up 9 with about a full quarter left in that one. So we've been ahead of most of the teams here today in terms of how this game has gone. A pretty fast-paced game so far.
Now coming out of the break, if you're the Warriors, you're in that huddle. What is Pelzer telling this team to try and cut this lead down as quickly as possible?
You got to be flying around defensively here. The only person in foul trouble right now is Tillman Papsu, and he's got 3. Everybody else has either got 0 or 1. So you've got plenty of fouls to work with here if you're the Warriors.
Warriors coming out in this full court press. Once again, Jenkins inbounded. Abbott's guarding him, flailing his arms wildly. Tries to trap Capole in the corner, and Popson is the one that picks up the foul. That will be his 4th. And the Maroons will inbound in front of the Warrior bench.
Not a bad foul there. I think he just needed to get to the sideline a bit quicker there, try to cut off that initial drive, but still breathing here if you're the Warriors. You got to try to force a takeaway.
Martin's driving inside and Crane the slam.
Of course, what happens when they break the press, you got a 2-on-1 going the other direction, and no one's going to stop him when he gets within 2 feet of the cup.
Pelzer guarded by Crane near the baseline corner. Fires over to Popson, nearly saves that one. Popson from the top, 1:30 remaining. Double guarded. Feeds Abbott inside. Abbott, the pump fake, gets it over Crane.
Big game from Andrew Abbott. One of the first career starts for him, and he has been playing some really inspired basketball in this one, even with the taller defender.
Coppola calls a timeout right near the sideline. 1:13 remaining. We'll be back after this. .13 remaining. The Warriors down 20. No, excuse me. 11 with 1:13 remaining. Just a glimmer of hope. 13, excuse me. That's horrible math by me. Maroons up 52-39. 1:13 remaining. The Warriors still have a glimmer of hope, but they have to get some turnovers defensively and make some quick plays on the other end. Keyless will inbound, guarded by Smith. Finds number 1, Ralston, near the corner, and he's called for a foul. That's Demaray's 2nd. Once again, Keyless will inbound from the Maroon student section.
They actually gave that one to Papsu. So that's number 5, and he's done.
Papson is just fouled out with his 5th, ended with 0 points. That will be how he ends his junior season.
Look out.
The big foul from Hallavig unintentionally runs Coppola over. That'll send him to the line for free throws.
And we already know that Tillman Popson is going to be spending every day in the gym in the offseason. You've talked at length this year that he is just a basketball junkie, but I think this is going to serve as even more motivation. Obviously a disappointing finish in general, but to go out of the game with 0 points and foul out in the last game of the year, I think that we're going to see him take it to an even another level, which, considering a guy that came in, averaged 21 points this year on insane efficiency, I'd be scared if I'm opposing defenses next year.
Coppola misses both. Pelzer moving quickly. Driving inside. Smokes the layup. But Martins gets the rebound. Pelzer quickly fouls.
It's only his first, but I think with a minute to go in this one, it's looking unlikely that the Warriors are going to have too much time left to try to get back into this one here. And I think just at the end of the day, the minutes that these starters logged, I mean, the old expression is you dance with the one that brought you. I mean, these five, if you include Papsoon before he fouled out, played essentially the entire game, without question the entire second half.
Halavik gets subbed out with a round of applause from the Warriors fans, and Jack Smith, the junior, checks in. Martins makes his second. Under a minute left tonight's matchup. Pelzer a deep three. Knocks in that one over Coley. Timeout quickly called by the Warriors. 11-point game, 50 seconds remaining. We'll be back after this. .50 seconds remaining. The Maroons will inbound, facing a Warrior full court press. Jenkins inbounding, finds Keyless in the corner, out to Martins. Martins quickly fouled by Demaray right near half court. Martins from the line, 80% free throw shooter on the season.
Martin's the one that got this game off to a really hot start for the Maroons. 4 threes in the first quarter, on way to a 14-point first. Really set the tone early for this squad and built that momentum that they never fully relinquished.
And we really haven't heard from him much since that first quarter. I mean, Norwalk's done a really great job on him the last 3 quarters of this one up until these free throws here.
Yeah, he has not scored a single point since.
Gets his second to go. Livingston bringing up the ball for the offense, finds Demaray. Demaray flushed out in the corner, a foul. Looks like he stepped on the line. It will be Maroon ball now.
Well, we talked about it coming into this game. Jamison Demaray and Tillman Papsoon need to have big games. Those two combined, 0 points.
Demaray, the senior, subs out. Jack Smith checks in for him. The Maroons will inbound. Henry Smith, the senior center, checks out one last time. Eli Leonard, the junior, now checking in. And Hatlovig, the senior forward, receiving a round of applause. As Hatlovig concludes his high school playing career, the football starting quarterback, starting forward on the basketball squad.
Phenomenal a couple of seasons on the football field, 21 touchdowns this year, just to a couple picks. I think he's going to be a great boost for some football coach somewhere. At 6'5", he's got the size to do anything.
We'll see a new squad of Maroons checking in. Number 23, Jimmy Baumover. Number 12, Jacob Wynn. Number 3, Drew DeRocher. Number 5, Leighton Oldfield. And number 15, Davin Triton. Lane Livingston and Pelzer both check out one last time, and that will be the end of the season. As now we have Eli Mills, Eli Leonard, Gavin Larson, Aiden Smith, and Jack Smith on the court. And Baumover gets the layup to go.
It's always tough to have a season end this way, but Norwalk should be incredibly proud with the year they've had.
Jacob Wynn gets his layup to go off the steal. And the Maroon crowd going crazy. And that is how the game will end. The Maroons punch their ticket to state 58-42 against the Norwalk Warriors, and that will conclude the Norwalk Warriors season, ending at 15-8 on this season. The Catholic Maroons pick up their 20th win of the season as they head towards the KC Center.
I mean, we saw it at all angles tonight, right? I mean, it was from inside, outside. It was Martins to begin. It was followed by Crane and then finished off by really everybody in that second half. They're a complete win for the Catholic Maroons, their 20th win on the season. That's kind of like a big milestone. You can get a 2-0 in that win column there, so congratulations to them heading to the state tournament.
Yeah, and for Norwalk, obviously a tough way to go out, but again, what a season they put up, coming into a year where you graduated all 5 starters, including also your 6th man. You bring in 2 guards that I think didn't start a single game combined last year, an entire new rotation. To see the breakout from Tillman Popsoon, just a huge growth in shooting and confidence, and just the growth in the game of Audric Pelzer as well. And just to be bringing back those 2 would be already a boost, but to have Lane Livingston and Andrew Abbott, the battle of alliteration in this case, adding those 2 to these returners, it's got to be really exciting to potentially have 4 starters locked in going into next year. Obviously, no one spot is ever safe going into, but it's got to provide some confidence for Coach Pelzer, knowing to bring back guys with that much experience after some of the losses they've had each of the last 2 seasons.
Once again, the Warriors finished their season in the regional finals, falling just 1 game short of state, but that's no reason to not look toward the future with some hope with some of these younger guys. Lane Livingston, Gavin Larson, Andrew Abbott, Popson, and Pelzer will both return for their senior year next year. There's still a lot to like about this Warrior squad as we head into next year.
And then speaking of a lot to like, don't forget we've got Thursday night basketball, as it is going to be a huge rematch for the 3rd time this year. Norwalk and DCG, 2 teams have split the last 4 matchups. It's been the road team winning it. Both teams technically on the road this time, so we'll see. Norwalk is technically the road team, being the lower seeded in there, but it is going to be a monster game between those 2 Little Hawkeye Conference co-champions Thursday night. Yeah,
can't wait to see how that one plays out there. You know that the crowds are going to travel for that one there. It's going to be packed in the KC Center for that one. And the 3rd time's always the best time, right? It's difficult to to beat a team twice at that caliber in the same season. So it's going to be a phenomenal game between DCG and Norwalk on Thursday.
Lots of motivation for both teams, rival schools in all different sports. Like Tyler was mentioning, splitting the past 4 games, looking to have one with the bragging rights and to end the other team's season.
And also just looking at the full 4A semifinals are officially set. We've got 3 Central Iowa teams advancing, with DCG beating Waverly Shell Rock. Norwalk, earlier today we saw them beat Central DeWitt. Bishop Heelan dismantling North Polk by 25. And then finally Carlisle with an upset over Clear Creek Amana, the 2024 state champions, ending the career of Avery Lauer, the ASU commit. So it is going to be exciting. Carlisle, Norwalk, and DCG, all regional teams. Could have had an all Central Iowa if North Polk had been able to get that upset. But I don't think Bishop Heelan was losing as the 1 seed back-to-back years in the first round.
Bishop Heelan, once again, a really strong team. I know Tyler was texting me earlier about this. Having 3 D1 prospects in your starting 5 is definitely going to help you going down the stretch.
Yeah, Alina Snoozy, if I remember, Melina Snoozy, 20 points per game, shot like 43% from downtown at 6 foot, and is a monster of a, has offers from Iowa and Iowa State, but everyone from Clemson to TCU to Marquette, all across the country, everyone is trying to get her. She might be this year's Libby Fandal, but overall, this is going to be an exciting end of the week with girls state basketball. All 4 of the teams that are left have immense talent. Macy Canito, the Iowa State commit on Carlisle. Norwalk, obviously led by Braylon Birmingham, just a sophomore with D1 offers already. And then Macy Meyer and a couple of these players on DCG. They're an experienced team. It's their 6th straight state tournament. It's going to be exciting to see what these 4 teams can bring Thursday night.
We'll bring you all the action and more on Thursday live from the Casey Center. But that's going to wrap up things here at Dowling Catholic High School. Once again, I am Braden Implord, my partners in crime, Dom D'Angelo and Tyler French, along with our production assistant, Gary French, signing off from here. We'll see you next time.